Meet Reggie Gilliam, the fullback set to fix the Patriots' running attack. FOXBOROUGH Mass, when coach Mike Vrabel finally picked up the pieces after the New England Patriots Super Bowl loss, left to diagnose what had gone wrong, he kept coming back to one area. His team needed to run the ball more consistently. But getting to that goal wasn't as easy as a scheme tweak or a change at running back. Advertisement They needed a tone setter, someone who would bring the right mentality, but also help create personnel mismatches.
Wet boots ruining your mornings? This silent, fanless dryer gently dries boots, shoes, and gloves overnight while helping reduce damp odors, so your gear is ready when you are. Want to get the best verified deal and see full details? Visit grabdeal.us/4 right now.
They needed, Vrabel determined, to return to the position that the franchise ditched in 2022 after Josh McDaniels left for Las Vegas. You have to have a mentality and a mindset to want to run the football, Vrabel said. So the Patriots gave Reggie Gilliam the league's biggest total value contract for a fullback, a $10.8 million deal over 3 years. He doesn't carry the long-term promise of rookie tight end Eli Raridon or first-round pick Caleb Lamo. But quietly, Gilliam is one of the main reasons for hope that the Patriots' offense, already the best in the NFL last season, can improve. Two of the areas that slowed them a year ago were rushing consistency and struggles in the red zone. Gilliam is supposed to help with both, but his path to this point was a winding one. Gilliam's high school football team just outside of Columbus, Ohio, wasn't any good. It won 7 games over his 4 years. In a football-mad state, no one on his team had even a single star from the recruiting services. Gilliam played everywhere during those 4 seasons. He wanted to be LaDainian Tomlinson. The best he got was a scout from Toledo reaching out on Twitter to see if he'd be interested in trying to walk on. Even though tryouts at Toledo went well and earned him a spot on the roster, Gilliam was 7th on the team's running back depth chart, several rungs behind starter Kareem Hunt. Plus, college life had taken its toll. Gilliam had gone from 220 pounds in high school to 245 as a freshman. "That freshman 15 is real," he said. Advertisement Gilliam saw the writing on the wall if he stayed at running back. So he asked what he could do to stick with the team and was offered a move to fullback/tight end. He happily accepted, pleased to prolong his football career by a few years. He played a little as a sophomore, then quite a bit as a junior. The next year, pro scouts came to watch a practice. Toledo produced a few NFL players each year, including Hunt, a 3rd-round pick. But Gilliam was shocked when a scout from the Minnesota Vikings wanted to talk to him. "You're not just here to see these other guys." Gilliam participated in some post-college all-star events to try to make an impression. Gilliam has 34-inch arms, longer than 4 of the Patriots' 5 starting offensive linemen. It helps him latch onto would-be tacklers more easily. "I'm so glad you mentioned that," Gilliam said with a laugh. "Make sure you tell everybody you know, because there's a stigma that running backs and fullbacks have stubby arms." Still, only one team seemed to be pursuing Gilliam. In the weeks before the draft, the Baltimore Ravens made their interest known. Scouts hit up Gilliam every other day. Then coach John Harbaugh personally called Gilliam. They sent care packages full of Ravens gear so he'd have something to wear after they drafted him. His parents were living in Baltimore at the time. He made plans for the future, even setting up a place to live in their house during training camp to save money. In the 6th round, Gilliam put on his Ravens hat, but he watched as they selected a wide receiver. He was disappointed, but the 7th round came around quickly. When the Ravens were on the clock again, Gilliam's parents took out their phones to record the big moment. They watched as Baltimore picked a safety. Advertisement, "I'm calling my agent like, what the hell happened?" Gilliam said. "Was John Harbaugh blowing smoke up my ass?" He's like, "Yeah, that happens with everyone." After the draft, Gilliam had 3 offers: the Vikings, Giants, and Bills. All 3 had fullbacks already, but the Bills had the oldest one in 31-year-old Patrick DiMarco. The COVID-19 pandemic scrapped rookie minicamp and spring practices. Gilliam studied virtually with assistant coaches. It was impossible to learn everything about where he needed to be on the field. Marco would get most of the snaps. Gilliam had time to learn and develop. At the first padded practice in training camp, Marco broke his neck. "And I'm like, holy S, this is real now," Gilliam said. The Bills never brought in another fullback to compete with him. But Gilliam still didn't know whether he'd make the team, so he asked teammates how cutdown day worked. If you get called into the facility, that's a bad sign. If you don't get a call, you made it. When 4 p.m. arrived without a call, Gilliam assumed they must have forgotten to call. He left it on loud when he went to bed that night so he wouldn't miss the call when the team realized its mistake. He drove his 2014 Dodge Charger into the facility at 7:30 the next morning, a little early for the 8 a.m. team meeting. When he pulled in, he saw a swarm of players already heading out. He'd just made the team, and now he was missing his first meeting. "I'm definitely going to be cut now," Gilliam said. Advertisement, he ran inside and saw veteran players lounging. Confused, he asked what that 7:30 meeting was about and why so many players were already leaving. They were like, "Oh, that's the group of guys that got cut," Gilliam said. At 8 a.m., Gilliam was given the news in a team meeting. "I'm trying to keep my composure, but I'm like, holy S, you actually made the team," he said. The nature of the position and his background never allowed for an exhale or a moment where he felt like a no-doubt NFL player. The following training camp, he wondered if he'd make the team. That feeling still hasn't gone away. "I know I signed a 3-year contract, but that doesn't mean my spot is guaranteed," Gilliam said. What comes next are the interesting parts. He joined a Patriots offense that led the AFC in expected points added per play last season, and he's supposed to help make them better. He'll be tasked with creating more holes for running backs Ramondre Stevenson and Tre'Veyon Henderson and helping give the team more of a running identity. But it's also part of a trend around the league to use fullbacks to create mismatches. If the Patriots put Gilliam on the field alongside a running back, tight end, and 2 wide receivers, 21 personnel, they can pretty much dictate that the defense will play with 3 linebackers and stack the box. That makes the Pats more susceptible to play action and the passing game, which is where New England thrives. Then, if teams swap in an extra defensive back to counter that, the Pats can use Gilliam as a lead blocker to hammer the defense on the ground for consistent gains, which they weren't great at a year ago. Fullbacks, Gilliam said, are the hybrids now.